Hi everyone, my name is Gautam Gupta and I want to welcome you all to my YouTube channel, Universal Fundamentals. In this video, I'm going to continue my series on the 2025 Vedic Astrology yearly predictions for all the 12 ascendants and moon signs and how these planetary transits will be affecting you based on your ascendant and or moon sign. In this video, I will exclusively be talking about Capricorn ascendants and moon signs. Now, 2025 is going to be a monumental year because all of the slower moving planets will be changing signs at some point in 2025. And this is going to bring huge changes to everyone's life depending on what your ascendant and moon sign are. And when I talk about the slower moving planets, I am talking about the nodes Rahu and Ketu, Jupiter, as well as Saturn. All of these planets will be changing signs in the coming year of 2025. And in fact, Jupiter will travel through 3 signs as it will be moving pretty quickly in 2025. Now, before I begin this discussion in detail, I do want to remind everyone to please check out my website, universal-fundamentals.com, where you can learn more about me and what I do as a Vedic astrologer. You can also check out the various services that I offer, and I will be leaving links down below so you all can check that out in more detail. I also want to remind everyone that I do practice sidereal Vedic astrology and not Western tropical astrology. Also, if you find this video to be helpful and useful, then please give it a thumbs up by hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel. Doing so will really help me out with the YouTube algorithm so this video can reach a vast audience. So with that being said, I will now begin discussing how all of these planetary transits will affect a Capricorn ascendant and or moon sign for the year 2025. So, first important transit I want to start discussing for a Capricorn ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Saturn will continue to remain in your second house of Aquarius until March 29th of 2025. And this is a transit where I see that your money, financial, and family matters are going to improve significantly. You will start seeing the results of all the hard work you've put in, and this is going to feel extremely satisfying and rewarding. Now, with Saturn's third aspect to your fourth house, this does tell me that you will be putting in a lot of effort to maintain your relationship with your mother. But I do think at this point, your efforts and dedication will totally pay off. You will finally have the understanding that you've been looking for, and this will help you out in so many ways. This is also an aspect where I see real estate and vehicle matters working out in your favor as well. And with Saturn's seventh aspect to your eighth house, this tells me that any issues that you've been dealing with related to your in-laws and or joint assets will start coming to a resolution and in your favor. And this can be an aspect that gives you some sort of unearned wealth, such as an inheritance or settlement. And finally, with Saturn's 10th aspect to your 11th house, this tells me that any karmic obligations that you've had towards friends, older siblings, and or social network circles will finally pay off. You will have a big sense of relief, and this will feel satisfying on so many levels. Now, normally, Saturn's 10th aspect to the 11th house does indicate some challenges and delays. However, because transiting Jupiter in Taurus is also aspecting the 11th house, this is creating a point of manifestation. So therefore, you will continue to have opportunities to flourish in your 11th house matters of relationships with your friends, older siblings, and or social network circles. This point of manifestation in your 11th house of Scorpio will continue until March 29th of 2025, which is when Saturn transits into the sign of Pisces. Now, the next important transit I want to discuss for a Capricorn ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Jupiter will continue to remain in your fifth house of Taurus until May 14th of 2025. And a very important event that is occurring on February 4th of 2025 is that transiting Jupiter will be turning direct at 17 degrees of Taurus. So if you happen to have a planet that is around 14 to 20 degrees of either Taurus, Virgo, Scorpio, and or Capricorn, then you're going to have many blessings and successes occurring due to any opportunities that you may have seized during the first 2 weeks of July 2024. This will be incredible for things related to your first house matters such as self-development, confidence, and health. This will also be beneficial for your fifth house matters, such as your relationship with the children, as well as your speculative investments. This will also be great for your 11th house matters, such as your relationships with either your older siblings, friends, and or social network circles. And you may also end up gaining big financially as well. And this will also be beneficial for your ninth house matters regarding the dynamics of your father, teachers, higher education courses, and spirituality. And your confidence will be extremely high for the remainder of this transit. You're going to feel extremely optimistic regarding where your life is going, and this will help you feel more relaxed. Now, another important transit I want to mention is that transiting Venus will be exalted in your third house of Pisces from January 27th of 2025 until May 30th of 2025. And while it is in the sign of Pisces, it will be forming a mutual exchange with transiting Jupiter, which is in your fifth house of Taurus up until May 14th of 2025. Now, the reason why I want to talk about Venus being in Pisces is because this is going to be a special transit. Venus normally stays in one sign for about a month, but this time it will be staying in the sign of Pisces for about 4 months, which is due to the fact that transiting Venus will be turning retrograde from March 2nd of 2025 until April 14th of 2025. And while Venus remains direct in your third house, this will open up opportunities to really develop your creative talents. This will be an excellent opportunity to connect with older siblings and or neighbors in a very casual and fun way. This will allow you guys to get to know each other even better. This is also a great opportunity to travel short distances, and it is a great opportunity to take some chances and risks when it comes to your speculative investments. This is also a great time to even start writing a book or work on short stories, articles, and or social media projects since the third and fifth lords are in exchange with each other. Now, one thing you have to be aware of is that Venus will turn retrograde from March 2nd of 2025 until April 14th of 2025. And this will be a transit where you have to exercise caution and care. You will have to be extremely careful with your communication and especially how you interact with your neighbors, younger siblings, and or even children. There can be some disagreements that arise if you're not careful with the way you communicate, so it will be important to watch what you say and how you say it. Also, while Venus is retrograde, there can be some temporary delays and setbacks when working on any social media projects, books, short stories, and or articles. So it will be important to exercise patience while working on these projects. Also, just be mentally prepared for any delays in your short distance trips. Now, the good news is that once Venus turns direct after April 14th of 2025, things will move forward pretty quickly and nicely related to your third and fifth house matters. And you will be able to find closure and resolve any outstanding disagreements. Now, while Venus is going to be in your third house of Pisces, it is going to be conjunct with Rahu in your third house, and Ketu is going to be in your ninth house of Virgo until May 29th of 2025. And this transit is going to prompt you to continue to focus your attention and energy on your younger siblings, neighbors, social media projects, short stories, and or articles. You will continue to utilize your creative talents, and this will help you get noticed in a very big and positive way. However, I will say that your father, teachers, and anything related to your higher education courses will continue to need a lot of your attention with Ketu being in your ninth house. But the good news is that since Jupiter is casting its fifth aspect to your ninth house, this will give you the opportunities and blessings to overcome any obstacles in your way. So you will be very nicely protected. Now, an extremely important part about this transit is that starting March 29th of 2025, transiting Saturn will also join Rahu in your third house of Pisces. And this is going to change things to a completely different level. The good news about this is that both of these planets do very well in the third house. The only problem is that Rahu and Saturn are not friends to each other, and this is due to the fact that Rahu is a planet that wants something now, and Saturn is a planet that restricts and delays. So the only thing I am noticing about this is that you will have to work a little extra harder in order to reap any rewards when it comes to your communication, short stories, articles, and or social media projects. However, I do think all of your hard work will pay off in a very big way, especially when Rahu separates from Saturn after May 29th of 2025. And with Saturn's third aspect to your fifth house, this tells me that you will be putting in a lot of effort to maintain a good relationship with your children. And you will be putting in a lot of effort to maintain your speculative investments. But while Jupiter is in the fifth house until May 14th of 2025, I do see a certain amount of protection and growth when it comes to your children and investments. And this will be due to the fact that Saturn's third aspect to your fifth house and Jupiter transiting the fifth house of Taurus until May 14th of 2025 is providing a point of manifestation. So I do think just for that time frame, you will be benefiting in these areas extremely well. Then with Saturn's seventh aspect to your ninth house, this tells me that you will be spending a lot of time to maintain good standing with your fathers and teachers. There could be a lot of issues that come up between you guys, but I do think you will have the energy and motivation to keep things going smoothly between you. You will also be focusing and putting in a lot of hard work and diligence when it comes to your higher education studies. Now, the good news is that up until May 14th of 2025, Jupiter will also cast its fifth aspect to your ninth house, so you will have a good amount of protection and stability when it comes to the dynamics of your father, teachers, and higher education. You may even travel long distance if that's what you plan on doing. And finally, with Saturn's 10th aspect to your 12th house, this tells me that there could be some karmic obligations that you may have towards foreign traveling or your expenses. However, I do think that these experiences will really enrich you as a person. It will really help with your personal and spiritual development. So I do think you will be focusing a lot of your time on this area. Now, the good news is that after May 14th of 2025, transiting Jupiter will enter the sign of Gemini, which is in your sixth house. And it's going to cast its seventh aspect to your 12th house of Sagittarius. And this will create a point of manifestation. So while transiting Jupiter is in the sign of Gemini, this will actually give you great opportunities to flourish in these areas. Now, one thing I want to mention about the Saturn transit in Pisces is that the Rahu and Saturn conjunction in the sign of Pisces will last from March 29th of 2025 until May 29th of 2025. Then after May 29th of 2025, transiting Saturn will remain in the sign of Pisces up until June 2nd of 2027. And then it will return back to the sign of Pisces from October 20th of 2027, and it will stay in the sign of Pisces until February 22nd of 2028. Now, the next important transit I want to talk about is that transiting Jupiter will enter your sixth house of Gemini on May 15th of 2025, and it's going to go through the entire sign of Gemini throughout the next 5 months. So after October 18th of 2025, transiting Jupiter will briefly enter your seventh house of Cancer, but it will return back into the sign of Gemini on December 5th of 2025, and it will remain in your sixth house of Gemini until June 1st of 2026. And while Jupiter is in your sixth house of Gemini, this is going to open up many opportunities to positively connect with your coworkers and or employees. You will find a great sense of cooperation and harmony with them, and this will allow you to really get things done. I also see you focusing on your health a lot more, and I do see a lot of improvement regarding your health situation. This is also a great time to either adopt a pet or connect with your existing ones. These areas in your life are going to move forward very quickly since Jupiter will transit the entire sign within 5 months. And this will allow you to really get things done regarding your sixth house areas. Now, with Jupiter's fifth aspect to your 10th house, this tells me that career opportunities are going to open up very nicely for you. This can come through either a promotion or a new job. And I do think that these opportunities are going to provide you with a great sense of satisfaction and happiness. Then, with Jupiter's seventh aspect to your 12th house, This tells me that you will have many opportunities to do some international and foreign traveling, and you will be working hard to resolve a lot of the things from your past that didn't work out in your favor. And I do think you will be successful in doing so, especially since transiting Saturn in your third house of Pisces is casting its 10th aspect to your 12th house of Sagittarius. And finally, with Jupiter's ninth aspect to your second house, this tells me that financial matters will be looking up. And this can partly be due to your career success throughout this transit. You will also have many opportunities for family gatherings, which will bring deeper connections and understanding. Now, the next important transit I will be discussing for a Capricorn ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Rahu will be going into your second house of Aquarius, and transiting Ketu will be going into your eighth house of Leo on May 29th, 2025. And it's going to remain in these signs until November 24th, 2026. Now, with transiting Ketu into your eighth house of Leo, this tells me that you're going to become actively engaged in studying spiritual subjects related to occult or metaphysical sciences. Subjects such as astrology or numerology will become of great interest to you. And if you're not into these things, then psychology becomes a big interest to you. Now, this is a time when you might feel disconnected with your in laws if you're married, or there could be something about their dynamics that require your attention. And if you're trying to increase your joint assets with your spouse, then realize it will take some time and patience to get the results you want. Now, with Ketu's fifth aspect to your 12th house, this tells me that you will have opportunities to travel internationally and connect with others in a very spiritual way. This will also give you some opportunities to donate money to causes that you feel passionate about. This is especially possible since transiting Jupiter in Gemini is aspecting your 12th house as well until October 18th, 2025. This is also great for learning spiritual subjects as well. Now, with Ketu's ninth aspect to your fourth house, this tells me that you may not be spending as much time with your mother or in your home life like you normally do. And this can be due to the fact that you might be engaged in other areas of your life, such as your career. There could even be a temporary sense of dissatisfaction in your current living situation. And this can prompt you to make some important decisions regarding where you want to live in the future. Then, with transiting Rahu into your second house, this tells me that your birth family and financial situation will become a very big focus point for you. You will have many opportunities for financial gains, but one thing I will caution you is that it will come with a price. Rahu always gives you something, but not without a hefty price tag. So if material wealth is something that you're after, then be prepared to work extremely hard for it. Also, during this time, please be extremely mindful of your communication and the way you come across to other people. You might be tempted to aggressively communicate, and this can be due to some stress in your life. So just be careful with your speech at this time. And another important aspect about this transit is that while Jupiter is transiting through your sixth house of Gemini, transiting Rahu in your second house will be casting its fifth aspect to transiting Jupiter in your sixth house. And in return, transiting Jupiter will cast its ninth aspect to your second house of Aquarius, forming a mutual aspect. And they will both be aspecting your 10th house of your career, reputation, social standing, and fame. This means that there are going to be lots of opportunities for growth and prosperity in these areas. So keep all this in mind as you navigate this transit. Now, the final transit I want to discuss for a Capricorn ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Jupiter will briefly enter your seventh house of Cancer from October 18th of 2025 until December 5th of 2025. And it will turn retrograde on November 11th of 2025 at just under 1 degree of Cancer. So while Jupiter is transiting your seventh house during this short window of time, this is actually going to give you a preview as to what to expect when transiting Jupiter officially enters your seventh house of Cancer again later in 2026. So I want you to really pay attention to the events that do happen over the course of these 6 weeks, because you will end up receiving the blessings and opportunities of these events in the summer of 2026 when Jupiter officially enters the sign of Cancer. So when Jupiter enters your seventh house of Cancer, you may be introduced to new business partners or associates that can help grow your entrepreneurial journey to a whole new level if you happen to be self-employed. Or if you're single, then I see a very strong and powerful relationship with a significant other starting to occur at this time. But because Jupiter will go back into Gemini in early December, you won't be fully able to embrace these opportunities until the summer of 2026, which is when Jupiter goes back into the sign of Cancer. And for those of you who are already well settled in business partners and or your relationships, then this transit will give you further opportunities for growth, expansion, and prosperity. Now, with Jupiter's fifth aspect to your 11th house, this will give you a preview of the connections and interactions you will be having with friends, social network circles, and or older siblings. Some of you may even have opportunities to meet many influential people that will have your best interests in heart and can help you grow and prosper. So make sure you take advantage of these opportunities, because once Jupiter re-enters the sign of Cancer in the summer of 2026, then these opportunities will blossom even more. Then, with Jupiter's seventh aspect to your first house, this will give you an extraordinary sense of self-confidence and optimism throughout this transit. And this can be due to the strong relationships that you've been forming and maintaining. And finally, with Jupiter's ninth aspect to your third house, this will give you a preview of the connections and interactions you will be having with either your younger siblings and or neighbors. This will allow you to start working on any new short stories, articles, and or social media projects. And once Jupiter re-enters the sign of Cancer later in 2026, you will be able to successfully execute these projects and enjoy the fruits of your labor. So this is what I wanted to cover regarding what's going to happen for a Capricorn ascendant and or moon sign for the year 2025. I hope you guys got something out of this. Once again, if you found this video to be useful, please give it a thumbs up by hitting the like button. Doing so will really help me out with the YouTube algorithm so this video can reach a vast audience. Also, if you're new to my channel and would like to see similar videos like this in the future, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell notification. And if you would like to know more about me and what I do as a Vedic astrologer, then please check out my website, universal-fundamentals.com. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.